something like this, you're gonna need two guns. The one you're gonna use and a backup.
All right, guys. So we are coming for the Pitchfork Podcast Live Day. We're gonna have a nice show today, man. We're gonna have a fun time because police officers, they are quite exceptional, and so we want to make sure that we cover some of these cases with these police officers, man. They are something else. They are something else. Let's get into it, though. Let's get into it. All right. Opelika police officer accused of attacking ex-girlfriend. This is a woman attacking another woman. This is going to be a fascinating case published on September the 30th. Happened in Florida, by the way. A Florida police officer with the Opelika Police Department was arrested early Thursday morning after going to her ex-girlfriend's apartment and hitting her in the face, authorities said. According to her arrest report, Jamisha Alexis McKinney, 30, went to her ex's home in the Eagles Landing community in the Miami Gardens Wednesday night and got into an argument with the victim. Police said that McKinney went into the victim's home without permission and grabbed the victim's car keys and walked outside. According to the arrest report, the victim followed McKinney outside to get her keys back, at which time an argument ensued and McKinney struck her ex-girlfriend twice in the face and grabbed her by the neck. So again, another case of a police officer. And this also highlights the domestic violence that happens between lesbian couples that many people don't want to talk about, and again, I do get the social reasons why partially, but it most certainly is a thing. It does happen. And we do need to discuss it, especially with police officers who happen to be lesbian. What we're finding is that there's a whole lot of lesbian couples in the police community that has a whole lot of domestic violence, and this case highlights it. So this is a case of a female officer going to her ex-girlfriend's house, trying to get car keys, and then when the ex-girlfriend tries to go and approach the officer, like, hey, I can't drive with those. I can't exactly drive without those. The officer then goes to assault the ex-girlfriend. So, another case, another officer, more domestic violence. It's getting to the point where it's no longer shocking. And you are seeing DV cases from all angles now. All angles. And this officer was arrested. So let's move on. I'm gonna give you a link to this story. This stories like this make me fall in love, man. Stories like this excite me. I love stories like this. I really, really do. I appreciate it when things like this occurs, because I want people to understand what they're facing. I want people to understand what they're seeing. I don't like the fact that a person suffered from domestic violence, no. What I am happy to see, though, is that more people get to see the true face of police officers. I mean, you're just seeing this stuff from all angles now, and it's getting to the point where it's hard to defend them. It becomes harder and harder and harder, and that's it. It's not what I want. It's in terms of getting justice for victims, but it is what I want in terms of showing people the truth. And that if I can just deprogram some people from believing that police officers are these heroes, these superheroes, these larger than life characters who can do no wrong. If I can deprogram at least some people from thinking that, I've done my job here, folks. I'm not here to change your minds. I'm not here to change everybody's minds. What I am here to do is to make you think. And if I can do that, I've done my job. I have more than done my job. My dislikeness and hatred towards police officers is mine and mine alone. You know, when I spit, you know, saliva doesn't leave your mouth. When I sleep, you don't feel well rested. If I were to get into a fight, you're not going to feel the injuries unless you're the one I'm fighting with. Therefore, my feelings are my own. I can only offer you suggestions at best. At best. And my suggestion is that if you keep seeing cases where there's domestic violence with police officers, and now it's crossing over into the LGBT community, and it's highlighting issues outside of the LGBT community, or doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with the LGBT community, but you're seeing it with a lesbian couple now. It's not just men and women. So it's getting to the point where the defenses of police officers is going to gradually get more and more ridiculous. It's going to become more and more obvious that the people who defend police officers and the Blue Lives Matter types, they don't give a shit about victims. And that they'll criticize people like me endlessly, and yet, for some reason, I'm the only one talking about the goddamn victims. I mean, don't you find that strange that it is the police officer's job to care about victims? And yet, it's a fucking guy on the internet with a webcam and a brand new GeForce GTX, baby. I will brag on that. But again, some guy on the goddamn internet cares more about victims than so-called officers. These goddamn pigs, these fucking road pirates. Interesting how that works out. I'm the monster. I'm the bastard. I'm the son of a bitch for talking about news. Now, mind you, it's from the same crowd who always says to you, facts don't care about your feelings. Right? Just asking questions. Just asking questions. Well, I'm just asking questions. Why the hell do I gotta keep covering stories about police officers beating their damn spouses or their girlfriends or ex-girlfriends? Just asking questions. You know, I got a comment earlier on my channel. We're gonna take a brief intermission. Got a comment earlier on my channel. Somebody saying to me, "You've changed. You used to be cool." I said to myself, when the hell? And they also said that now all I talk about is cops. How much I hate cops. And I said to myself, when the hell did I ever like cops? So I decided to go to my YouTube control panel, and I said, I'm gonna type in this person's name in terms under comments. They only left 2 comments on my channel's history total. I used to be so cool, but you only subscribed a couple months ago. You only left 2 comments. Interesting. So 2 months ago, I was putting out bad cop content. What the fuck are you talking about? 2 months ago, me and my girlfriend were still a thing. And she'll tell you that near daily, I put out bad cop content. In fact, that was all of my content. In fact, 98% of it. Damn near 4 or 5 videos a goddamn day. What the hell are you talking about? But again, people who defend police officers, they will reach for fucking anything. Just anything. To defend their goddamn pigs. And it's fucking disgusting. I want to throw the fuck up every time someone defends a goddamn police officer because it's a goddamn shame. You could spend your time doing so many other things besides defending goddamn pigs. You could be knitting. You could be roasting bacon or pigs. You could be making some steaks. You could be banging your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend and not beating them, of course, like police officers. You could be on the internet surfing and researching bad cop stories like I do. Because, again, people out there, they love to tell you, that none of your business. What's going on? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. All right, you're going to get a wrench. You're going to get a wrench because I appreciate people. There you go. You get a wrench. Everybody who comes in and says anything reasonable or just isn't a bootlicker gets a wrench, man. By default. It's just my gift to you. Mwah. Love you. Love you. But again, going back to what I said, I just noticed that people, the amount of energy that they spend into, criticizing me, they don't put even a fraction of that energy into criticizing police officers. And it always makes me wonder why. It's a very peculiar thing, It's a very, very strange thing how that works out. Why is it that people never put the same energy, that they put into criticizing me for criticizing police officers, into criticizing the bad cops that they usually can see actually exist? Don't you find that strange? I do. Because my grandma once said that what you put your energy to is what you love. What you put your energy to, into is what you love. They love cops. And they will defend pedophile cops, even rapist cops. The implications of that, quite disturbing. Quite disturbing. Oh my God. I gotta say, quite disturbing. So we got an update to the Sarah Everett case. Happened in the UK. Now, Sarah Everett, if you don't know, she was murdered by a police officer. Kidnapped and murdered by a police officer. This is not my opinion. It is a fact. He has been given a life sentence. He's been given a life sentence. In fact, I want to give you more information about this. So, Sarah Everett, I want to... So, we're going to go ahead and cover this. So, Sarah Everett, as you can see, beautiful young lady. I mean, just so sad. I remember when it was happening, before they found her body. I remember people looking for her. The desperation. And you can talk about missing white girl syndrome all you want to. And I understand that is a thing, but like I said in the video that I put out earlier, that's not the time to bring that up when a family is still grieving. You can look at that in retrospect, but her being white doesn't make her family not love her any less. And the fact that it was a police officer that took her life, his name was Wayne Couzens. Wayne Couzens abducted this girl and brutally murdered her. And he's been given a life sentence without parole. And that's what he deserves. He deserves to never, ever breathe fresh air ever again. He deserves to rot in prison. I hope that we find a immortality serum. Make him immortal. Make him a damn vampire and put him in a freaking room with no sunlight. I want this man to become a damn vampire and put in the deepest, darkest dungeon possible with no sunlight. Therefore, he has no chance of escaping his punishment. Let him sit there. Give him no toys. Don't give him shit. Don't give him anything. Give him the roughest treatment possible. The roughest treatment possible, because that's what this monster deserves. UK police officer who murdered Sarah Everett gets life in prison with no chance of parole. No chance. So meaning he's not getting out. And for a UK court to do that, I mean, an American court to do that, that's not exactly uncommon. But for a UK court to do that, that is what is striking to me. And he deserves this without a shadow of a doubt. This man is a pig of pigs, a disgusting predator, a disgusting tick, a freaking cancer. on society. That woman trusted police officers like most citizens in the UK. They trust them so much that most cops don't even carry guns in the UK. They see police officers very differently than what we see them in America, because in America, we are a very rebel culture. We are anti-government to the core. We will vote for a Democrat just because a Republican was in the White House. We'll vote for a Republican just because a Democrat was in the goddamn White House. We intentionally vote to bring balance because we distrust government that much. We have a Second Amendment where we have guns in case of a tyrannical government. Now, I would, in my personal opinion, my humble opinion, just my opinion, I think that we should have invoked that a couple of times, Second Amendment. But my opinion, not making any threats, just saying, in my opinion. But moving on, we even have that in this country to show how much we don't trust government. Our founding fathers, in their infinite wisdom, and granted, they were slave-owning people, they were assholes, but they did give us guns. And I love guns. So, I'm not going to ignore history, but our founding fathers, in their infinite wisdom, gave us the power to own firearms in case of a tyrannical government. Because American culture is ingrained. We live to hate the government. We live for it. Did you see January 6th? Did you see the figure 2020 riots? You saw examples from the left and the right, baby. Left and right. We hate the government. That's the one thing that we could actually agree on. We hate Congress. Congress above all else. Because Congress is goddamn trash. I don't give a damn if it's a D or an R behind a name or an I. They're all trash. Every last one of them. So the distrust of government that we have in America is not what you find in the UK. In the UK, people trust their government a lot more. A lot more. The bootlicking there, it is disgusting beyond fucking disgusting. And this is why I totally respect people who are, English anarchists. The Antifa types. I don't care what kind of banner you fall under. If you are an anarchist, I can appreciate if you are in the UK and you are a damn anarchist. But the point of me saying all that is that woman trusted UK police like most people in the UK do. And this man abducted her and brutally raped and murdered her. Brutally. It's just senseless. And what makes it even worse is that this is a tax-paid cop. People pay their hard-earned tax dollars right now. People in the freaking UK right now, they're having a gas shortage, right? So gas pumps are running dry. There's panic buying all over the freaking shelves. People are diverting their tax dollars from buying more things that they actually might need because of all the panic buying in tax dollars to cops. And this cop abducts a young woman, rapes, and murders her. London, CNN. A British police officer has been sentenced to life in prison without parole for the abduction, rape, and murder of Sarah Everett, a case that sparked outrage and national debate about violence against women. Exactly. Violence against women. Why are we not having that debate right now in America with police officers? Because how many memes, how many stand-up comedians, how many other politicians, how many YouTube channels, how many articles, how many news reports, how many news videos, how many documentaries, how many deep dives do you gotta see with cops being perpetrators of domestic violence alone for there to be a serious international conversation about violence at the hands of police officers no matter the country? I mean, good God, American police, Canadian police, Mexican police, UK police, French police, Chinese police, Russian police, they're all trash. They have abused their citizens without question, and you're seeing another example of a goddamn pig abusing a young woman, abducting her, raping and murdering her. And what makes this even sicker, just to show you how much UK people trust the police, let me highlight something for you real quick. Prosecutors said Everett was walking to her London home on March 3rd when Wayne Couzens used his police identification and handcuffs to deceive her into getting in his car under the pretense that she had violated COVID-19 rules. He raped her and strangled her with his police belt later that evening. So she got in the car with him, right? Thinking that she had broke the law. Thinking that she had done something wrong. Thinking that she was a criminal. And so he got her into his police car. And he took advantage of her. And there's other news stories. There's other news stories saying that Sarah Everett's killer might have been identified as a threat sooner, police admit. Police admit. I want to bring that up. I want you to see that because my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. I want you to see this part here. The Guardian. Police might have identified Wayne Couzens. Here we go. I'm gonna give you the link to this too. This is from the Guardian. This is unbelievable. And it shows you what I'm talking about. If people like me and people like others did not exist, do you understand what would happen? There will be no accountability applied to police officers. Do you understand that? Do you understand that if people like me didn't constantly raise the noise that I raise, that there will be no pressure placed on police officers? There's a link for you. Let's go to this juicy tidbit here. Sarah Everett's killer might have been identified as threat sooner, police admit. Details of indecent exposure claims emerge as ex-Met officer Wayne Couzens is given whole life sentence. So there was claims of indecent exposure and other sex crimes associated with Wayne Couzens that the Metro Police in the UK could have used to actually fire this man, and they didn't do it. And do you know what he goes on to do? Rape, right? First, abduct the woman under the pretense that she had violated COVID-19 rules, handcuffs her, gets her into his freaking police vehicle, rapes her, strangles her, and then murders her, right? Then this man gets a life sentence without parole, and they could have stopped him sooner. Do you understand the importance of channels like mine now? Do you get it now? Because if people like me don't exist, pressure on police like this does not exist. See, me alone, I don't apply enough pressure to cops. I'm just one guy. But I can inspire others to go do the exact same thing that I do. That's why I go out of my way in many of my streams to show you how I find the information that I find. Or I give you the links. I want you to do what I do. I want to put myself out of business. I want to retire. But I feel like there's not enough pressure being applied. That's why I stay. That's why I stay. Because if people like me did not do what I do you see what happens? Had there been public pressure on that department, on the Metro Police in the freaking UK, does this happen? Yes or no? Had there been pressure on that police department to actually fire officers who are trash, who are goddamn pigs, does this happen? Do you see why I went through the trouble of talking about bootlicking? Do you see why now? This is the cost of bootlicking. There was a point of me bringing that up. And you are probably saying, why is he going on and on and on about how much the UK trusts police and their government? This is what happens when you do. When you just blindly trust someone, you don't apply pressure to them, and therefore there is no accountability. Because there's not been one time in human history in which government government, right, ever held itself damn accountable? It was always the goddamn citizens. Not one time in human history has government ever held itself accountable. It was always citizens. We all know this. So why is it that when I go out of my way to mention stories like this, do I get so much blowback? Do some people like pedophiles? Do some people like rapists? Do some people don't care about victims? I mean, I genuinely can somebody in the comments just please let me know. I genuinely want to know. What is it? What is it? Because I'm lost and confused there. We have a genuine case, right, of a police officer abusing a citizen. And let me show you the reaction that I usually get. Let me show you. Someone pointed this out in my comment section. Someone pointed this out, and I want you to see. See this right here. I got 7 downvotes. 7 downvotes. How is that possible that I'm getting 7 downvotes when all I'm talking about is stuff like this? How? How is that? How is it that so many people have no problem with pedophile, rapists, and murdering cops who target innocent young ladies? And these are the same people who will cry and whine about COVID-19 rules. Well, this cop used COVID-19 rules or fake COVID-19 rules to put a woman in this damn police car, rape and kill her. Where's all these anti-vaxxers, all these anti-COVID-19 people? By the way, you should get vaccinated. You should absolutely get vaccinated. But where's all these people at, huh? Are you still nowhere to be goddamn found? So I gotta speak up for on behalf of a goddamn white woman, right? But then when I talk about missing white girl syndrome, then you get mad. Well, bitch, if left up to certain people, nobody would talk about the cases. See, that's the thing about racism, right? Everybody made a big deal about this case. There's been plenty of police officers who has raped and killed black people, right? But you never hear about it because they usually get away with it. I'm going to say that for you again. If a police officer can just shoot and kill somebody, what makes you think they're going to get in trouble for rape if you happen to be black? This man got a life sentence. I can assure you he's not the only officer who has raped and killed somebody. I can assure you of that. I would bet my life on it. And what was the last punishment? I'm not even going to bother even look it up. I've already done enough research here. I want someone else to answer that question for me. What happened to the last guy? I'm just very curious. Let's get into the comments here. None of your business says because those who point out facts and truth screw up the game for cops. K Amari says, yo, what happened for there to already be 7 dislikes on the stream? Bootlickers. None of your businesses give me a heart. Thank you very much. None of your business says, people fear police so they won't talk truth about them out of fear. Also says, the most a cop will get for murder is less than 20 years. Absolutely. How can we give the power to 9 people, Supreme Court, to make decisions that affect millions of us when we the people don't get a voice in their selection? Absolutely. That's a very good point. Where's it written that we are to hand over, surrender our ID or papers to police on request? Nowhere. From the police before they take that right away. Absolutely. I believe in getting vaccinated, but I will say this: I don't want police enforcing that shit. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Police can fuck off. You wanna know why? I'm gonna get into something else here. This is why I say I want police. While I think people should be vaccinated, you should go and get vaccinated. I don't want police to be the ones to tell you. I want you to see something real quick. right? It's a study from Case Western Reserve University. I'm going to give you a link to the study before we get into it. I want you to see this. I want you to see what I'm talking about here. It doesn't matter how you feel about the virus. The point that I'm making here, and I'm going to type it out. I'm going to talk about the point that I'm actually making here. I do believe you should be vaccinated. However, I don't want police enforcing vaccine mandates when police don't take the vaccine seriously, vaccine or virus seriously. The one killer for 2021 is COVID. That's a fact. Okay, there we go. So, in case someone wants to try to misconstrue what I said, I typed it out for you. The point of me bringing this study up is not to argue the efficacy of the vaccine. I personally got vaccinated. That's your personal decision. I would recommend it that you do. However, the point of me bringing this up is that a study finds that more active duty officers died of COVID-19 in 2020 than all other causes combined. So that's why I don't want cops enforcing COVID rules. Because if you can't get vaccinated yourself, don't enforce it on me. I don't want there to be another case of hypocrisy from goddamn cops. Like, for example, when cops tell you to just obey the goddamn law, but when a law enforcement agency is placed under a federal consent decree, they can't follow the actual court ruling. I don't want more hypocrisy from goddamn cops. If I can't guarantee that the freaking pig who is trying to enforce COVID-19 rules upon me isn't fully vaccinated himself or herself or themselves, then why the fuck should they be allowed to enforce rules upon me? I don't want more hypocrisy with goddamn cops. I'm sick of that shit. So that's why I am against a vaccine mandate, because it's cops who are ultimately going to have to actually enforce that. That's why I was against COVID-19, the freaking pandemic rules, about the social distancing and cops actually enforcing it. I wanted you to socially distance, but I just didn't want cops to enforce it, because I didn't want to give cops more areas to be fucking hypocrites, which they have been. So let's get into it here. Of the 264 officers who died in the line of duty in 2020 across the U.S., more than half died of COVID-19, according to the new data compiled by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. So, that was data compiled by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. With a freaking name like that, right? Do you think they hate cops? No. They care about cops. They're trying to save them. They're trying to save them. A professor at the Case Western Reserve University is bringing some awareness to the disturbing trend. Mark Singer, the Leonard W. Mayo Professor in Family and Child Welfare at the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences, also discussed some possible solutions during his recent lecture in Cleveland. Quote, it's from Mark Singer. COVID-19 is absolutely devastating police departments around the country, said Singer, also deputy director of the Began Center for Violence Prevention Research and Education at the Mandel School. Quote, I'm certain there are local departments that have been ravaged by this disease, as well as our hospital staff, firemen, and EMS. We need to do everything we can to promote healthy, safe first responders, end quote. That is telling. It's actual data. Again, I'm going to open up this actual PDF file. It's actual data. It's from the National Law Enforcement Memorial and Museum. This is actually a pro-law enforcement source here who's telling you the number one killer of cops right now is COVID-19. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm going to get into this actual data here. I want to see. Right. Law enforcement officer fatalities. According to the preliminary data compiled by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, as of December 31st, 2020, 264 federal, state, military, tribal, and local law enforcement officers died in the line of duty in 2020, an increase of 96% from the 135 officers killed during the same period. In 2020, officer fatalities ranged from automobile crashes to heart attacks, and from gunshots to being beaten to death. Of these tragic deaths, COVID-19 related fatalities were the single highest cause of officer line of duty deaths in 2020. Wow. Now, that actual paragraph provides something else I find very, very interesting. See, when you research one thing, you can find out other things. You know how all these people are talking about how dangerous it is to be a cop, right? They say it's so dangerous to be a cop, and therefore it justifies them pulling out guns and just shooting people, right? That's what they say. But in total, there were just 264 law enforcement officers in the country who died in line of duty last year in 2020. And that was during the 2020 riot. So 264. That's not even 300. You couldn't even be the goddamn Spartans in that one movie. You couldn't even be damn Leonidas, baby. That's it. So that justifies you pulling out guns and killing Tamir Rice, strangling damn George Floyd, strangling goddamn Eric Garner, killing Breonna Taylor, Daniel Shaver, Tony Temper, Hunter Britton. That justifies that shitty ass number. And that's actually a 96% increase, right? From the previous year in 2019 of just 135 officers. And when you go down lower, you find some other interesting things. So, remember all those firearm deaths? Right? Cops just shooting people? Well, here's some data that disproves a lot of bullshit. Firearm-related deaths were the second most common cause of officer deaths, with 48 officers killed in 2020. This represents a 6% decrease. A decrease from the 51 officers killed in firearms-related incidents during the same period in 2019. So you're talking about max, less than 50 officers killed by firearm-related fatalities. And that's firearm-related fatalities. That includes suicides. That's not for somebody just shooting you. It could also be accidents. Mind you, I'm going to highlight that one little phrase right there. Firearm-related fatalities. It doesn't say shootings. If this is a pro law enforcement resource. If it were shootings, they would say shootings. But they didn't. They didn't. Right? Right? I want to highlight something else too. The largest single cause of death in this category in the entire report are the 145 COVID-19 deaths where officers were confirmed by their agency to have engaged in a line of duty action or activity, and the officer was diagnosed or evidence indicated that the officer had COVID-19 or complications at the time of the officer's death. So, we have just dispelled an awful lot of bullshit, haven't we? We proved several things. Number one, that this whole idea that officers have the most dangerous job in America is bullshit, for one. Two, that officers getting shot is not exactly a common fucking thing. Okay? Three, there's actually been a fucking decrease in officers being killed by firearm-related deaths. Therefore, all the cops just shooting people, saying that I thought it was a gun. Well, based on the stats, I'm not buying it. And now you're seeing hard numbers to back that up, don't you? See, that's why I get 7 downvotes on a goddamn stream before the actual stream even goddamn starts. Because people are so scared of me because I talk about facts, man. Facts, baby. I love them. You love them? I love them. You like them? I love them. I live on them. That's all I publish are facts. So now you're seeing a visual representation of what I meant when I say that officers don't have a very dangerous job, for one, and that two, I don't want them enforcing COVID rules if they can't get a fucking vaccine to save themselves. Seems fair? I think it is. I think it is. Sounds fair to me. Sounds fair to me. Sounds fair to me. You know. But it's going to be very, 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 very interesting to hear how people defend this. Very interesting. Because YouTubers and TikTokers and social media personalities and journalists like myself, when we put out content like this and it barely gets views, that is a part of the problem. I'm putting out facts. I'm putting out actual studies, actual PDF files. I'm not only putting out the facts, I'm giving you the links to them. And I'm not just giving you facts from a biased source. It's coming from a source that wouldn't even like me. Or at least not like what I do. And yet, people will still argue with me. And it's just, it gets to the point where it's frustrating. Doesn't matter how many facts you show. This is why I don't bother debating people. Because you see what it would be like. I'm discussing facts, and you are arguing with fucking facts. What the fuck do you want me to do with that? How do you want me to fucking approach that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's get into the comments here. So, None of Your Business says people don't want to believe that cops are fallible. He also says I'll get a vaccination that has stood the test of time. Have you watched this video? Line of duty, they contracted COVID while off duty. That's definitely not line of duty. Botham Jean, yeah, absolutely. Botham Jean was shot in his apartment by off-duty cop Amber Geiger, who thought he was in her apartment. She got 10 years yet. I'm very aware of Amber Geiger, the hug of the two-piece. The hug two-piece of the goddamn Bible. I'm well aware of that. Thank you for bringing it up, though. That's beautiful. I want to get into the... no, I'm not going to get into that scene. I'll get back to the live scene. But I remember that very well. Let's see. You see this video. Let's see what video you're talking about. I want to see what video you're talking about. Alright, let's see if we can copy link address. And let's go watch the video. By the way, that link is in the description. It's in the chat, guys, if you want the link to the actual study. You have the right to remain silent. Okay, we're gonna watch that later. I might do a response video to it, maybe. But we got another story here. Another cop, more domestic violence. Color me surprised. Color me surprised. Color me surprised. Let's get into it. Port Allen police officer arrested overnight on domestic violence charges. Wow. Yet again, another one. I feel like I feel like damn DJ Khaled. I feel like the most skinniest version of DJ Khaled ever. Another one. Another one. Another one. That's how I feel when I make these damn videos, man. When I do these freaking live streams, man. Another one. A police officer was booked on domestic violence and weapons charges overnight. Officer Ronald Monroe Jr., 25, was arrested on charges of aggravated assault with a firearm, false imprisonment while armed, and domestic abuse. Monroe, an officer with the Port Allen Police Department, was arrested by Addis Police. Monroe, an officer with the Port Allen Police Department, was arrested by Addis Police Wednesday night. He's a former deputy with the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office. No other details about his arrest were immediately available. Wow. So another cop. More domestic violence. I have covered so many cases. Like it is getting to the point where it's as sad as it is for me to say, I'm used to this. Do you understand how sad it is for someone who covers exclusively bad cops to say, I'm used to these kind of charges with cops? If you're a woman, I would seriously suggest that you don't marry a cop or date one or be alone with one. And that if you are being arrested or being detained, please request a female officer. Please. For your own safety. Have you not seen enough? Have you not seen enough memes? Have you not seen enough stats about this? Please. If you're a woman, be careful around police officers. You can't trust them. No matter how much you think you can, they're humans just like everybody else. And because we have so many people in this country who bootlick, who just worship at the altar of Blue Lives Matter, the thin blue goddamn line, they will never face the same amount of accountability as somebody who doesn't wear a badge. And quiet as kept, many people who don't wear badges don't face accountability. But these cops most certainly don't. All right, here we go. This is coming from the Department of Justice, from the U.S. Attorney's Office, Central District of California. So, you got another cop who's a disgusting piece of crap. K. Amari, Cop News Bingo Card. Absolutely. Absolutely. None of your business says everyone should watch the YouTube Don't Talk to Cops by James Duane, as well as the link above that I posted. Open your eyes and mind, folks. Absolutely, I agree with you. Hey, if you can find a link to that particular video, I will pin it in the pinned comments above. None of your business. But let's get into this story here. This is a crazy one. A former Long Beach police officer arrested on federal indictment alleging he distributed and possessed child pornography. Los Angeles, a former Long Beach police officer has been arrested pursuant to a federal grand jury indictment alleging he possessed and distributed child pornography when he was working as a law enforcement officer. Anthony Brown, 57, of Lakewood, was arrested Wednesday morning by special agents with Homeland Security Investigations (HSI) at his arraignment in U.S. court. Wednesday afternoon, Brown pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of distributing child porn and 1 count of possession of child porn. Wow, it is becoming all too common for this to happen and for people to use social media. See, this guy used MeWe, an internet-based messaging application, to distribute CP and explicit messages that contain images of girls on November 2019 and April 2020. A police officer. So I wonder how Blue Lives Matter folks are going to defend this. Just happened on September the 30th. Just released Thursday, September 30th, which is today. Just happened today. I wonder how Blue Lives Matter is going to defend this one. I wonder. See, once again, it's the people like me who's covering cases like this. Did you see Brandon Tatum cover this How about Tim Pool? How about Aiden Paladin? Bering or the Quartering? Sargon of Akkad? Anthony Brian Logan? The Conservative Twins? Steven Crowder? Have any of them covered this case? A Long Beach police officer arrested for child porn charges. Homeland Security special fucking agents showed up to this man's door because he was sharing around images of a girl who hadn't even reached 12 years old yet. But I guarantee you, I'm going to catch more shit for talking about this story than the actual officer who committed this heinous crime. I'm going to catch more shit because I dared talk bad about a goddamn pig who does shit like this than the actual pedophile. You can't make this shit up, folks. You can't make this shit up. A fucking police officer is passing around child porn on goddamn social media. This shit happens the same day on the stream, and I am doing the stream on September the 30th, 2021, on Thursday. This shit was released by the U.S. Attorney's Office on Thursday, September 30th, 2021. It's a fresh goddamn story. And I just covered 3 pedophile stories. Back to goddamn back. Back to goddamn back. It gets to the point where it's not just frustrating. It's fucking ridiculous. That not only do I have to keep making these goddamn videos, but I have to almost mentally prepare myself for the fucking Blue Lives Matter bootlicking assholes to show up and say, why are you talking bad about police officers? I didn't have a bad experience with police officers. I guarantee you the goddamn child under the age of goddamn 12 did. I guarantee you every goddamn child who's been raped by a goddamn cop, I guarantee you they've had a bad experience or two. I guarantee you every fucking wife out there who's been gotten their who has gotten their head fucking smashed in by a goddamn pig, I guarantee you they've had a fucking bad goddamn experience. I guarantee you everybody who's been fucking murdered by a goddamn pig has had a goddamn bad experience. I don't give a shit about the great experiences that you've had with your goddamn road pirate. Fuck the road pirate and fuck your good experience. You wanna know why? Because I got a playlist called Bad Cop No Goddamn Donut. And the fact that you can never actually finish watching that damn playlist because I upload videos damn near daily. In fact, I upload so many videos that way I can take days off. And nobody can talk shit because guess what? I put out the content. Holy shit. I put out the goddamn content. And no matter how hard I work, no matter how many videos I put out, oh my God, no matter how many goddamn videos I put out, there is never an end to this shit. There's never a fucking end to this shit. It doesn't matter how many videos I do. People are going to dick ride goddamn cops. It is fucking disgusting. Shouldn't you talk more shit about the cop who does shit like this versus me? I ain't raped no damn body. I ain't got no damn child porn. I ain't slapped no damn wife. Or damn boyfriend. I ain't did none of this shit. But you giving me more shit than the motherfuckers who did Make it make fucking sense. Because from where I sit, that's for goddamn ridiculous. Oh my God, we're goddamn ridiculous. How is it that I get more shit for talking about stories like this than the very motherfuckers who do shit like this? No part of that sounds fucked up to you? No part of that makes you want to go, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It sounds like you're defending goddamn pedophiles. No part of that ever goes through your mind when you see people defend, or defend officers while also going at me. No part of that goes through your damn mind. It goes through mine. I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. All right, so here we go. We got to some more comments here. And then your business says, "Don't talk to cops." There's a link there. I'm gonna go ahead and link that up above. Pin comment. Place pin comment. Yeah, there we go. All right, so and Cosmic Squirrel, my boy Cosmic Squirrel, what's going on? Holy shit, I found DA Live. What's up? Well, nothing's up with you. What's going on with you, my brother? What's going on with you? All right. Guys, we're going to cover a few more stories, but before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. I want to keep the live stream rolling and going. Don't go anywhere. We take about a 5-minute break. I got to get a quick drink and also consume some herbs real quick because it keeps me going. So, give me a quick second. All right. All right, we're back with more Pitchfork podcast. I told you it's gonna be a quick little intermission. All right, let's go read the comments here. All right. Cosmic Squirrel says there's so much filth. Cops running wild, mate. Absolutely, they're knocking people's teeth in down here. Oh my gosh. You know what? Cosmic Squirrel. See, here's the thing. I told Baring, who is another Australian YouTuber, that I would kind of like, stay in my lane when it comes to international things. But I did talk about Sarah Everett. If you want me to go after Australian cops, I might do it. I might do it because I've been hearing a lot about Australian cops, man. That I've been hearing they are a next level fucking crazy, yo. I was actually watching Suit Yourself. He's another YouTube channel. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and give him a quick shout out. I want to go ahead and give you a link to his channel so you guys can have it. Suit Yourself is if you're more right leaning, he is certainly somebody that you would definitely like. He has somewhat similar opinions, especially he goes after a lot of pedophiles, and he's a good guy. He is a very good guy, and I really, really like him. I've been a kind of a fan of him. Find Suit's channel. Suit Yourself. There's Suit. There's Suit. There's my boy. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a link to Suit's channel. I think you'll like Suit. He does a lot of animations as well. With impunity, they're knocking people's teeth in with impunity. Really, very interesting. I'm very, very, very curious now. None of your business says you're only talking shit about shitty cops. What's the problem? I don't know, man. I don't know. Squirrel says there's so many of them. Nunya. Oh, they dirty fuckers. And Nunya says herbs. Yeah, I love Suit. I really do. All right, so let me go ahead and get to some more stories here. So I've covered this Long Beach police officer here. Federal officer arrested at Capitol rally won't be charged. Wow. Talking about double standards. Speaking of double standards. Do you see what I mean by I don't want cops to have more power to enforce things when it's going to be hypocritical? An officer caught at the U.S. Capitol won't be charged. Because that's justice. Federal officer arrested at Capitol rally won't be charged. The 27-year-old New Jersey man is an officer with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So ICE. Washington, a federal law enforcement officer was arrested carrying a gun at Saturday's rally at the U.S. Capitol billed to support the suspect's charge in January's riot, but will not be prosecuted. The 27-year-old New Jersey man is an officer with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. He was arrested by Capitol Police for illegally possessing a gun on the grounds of the Capitol after people in the crowd reported seeing him with a handgun and notified nearby officers. His arrest and presence at the event were surprising because the rally was billed as an event to support those who have been charged in January's riot. That riot left dozens of police officers beaten, bloody, and bruised as a crowd of pro-Trump rioters, some armed with pipes, bats, and bear spray, charged into the Capitol, quickly overturning and overrunning the overwhelmed police force. So this officer, who was in support of the Capitol rioters, right, is walking around with a gun. I wonder why. Why was he doing that? Why do you think he was doing that? Was it just to say hello to somebody? To be kind? Maybe he was just a firearms enthusiast. Personally, I think you should be able to carry a gun anywhere you want to, but that's not how bootlickers feel, because whenever a police officer arrests somebody in blue state, like for example California, and I criticize the LAPD, you don't see all the pro-gun people going after the LAPD. What you see is them ignoring it and then pivoting and deflecting to something else that is not police officers. So how do you justify this? How do you justify an ICE agent, an actual officer, walking around with a gun on Capitol grounds when it's pretty clear that's not allowed? I mean, he's an officer. Shouldn't he know the law? I mean, goddamn. You would think an officer, somebody with a fucking badge, would know the law. Or at the very least, if you're gonna carry a gun, conceal the goddamn gun. Conceal it so that nobody else can see. You would think an officer, somebody who I would hope has gotten some training in undercover operations, would have known that. But him carrying that gun in a manner that at least people could see it, I don't think that was an accident. And I don't think that him being at the U.S. Capitol when he works for ICE was an accident. There were several police officers caught in the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. So this guy showing up to a rally in support of the insurrectionists. It's not shocking. It's not shocking whatsoever. And once again, I guarantee you I'm going to get more shit for talking about this than the actual officer here who didn't obey the law. Isn't that what bootlickers always tell you? Just obey the law. Just obey the law. Obey my law. Right? Obey my law. Don't use your brain. Don't think for yourself. Just obey the law. Isn't that what they're always telling us? I correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know if I've lost my mind. Right? I'm just curious. Because it would almost appear as if there's one set of rules for some folks and a different set of rules for me and you. See, what I find very, very peculiar about all the people who talk about propaganda and everything else and not falling for propaganda from the mainstream media is that you don't think that all the money that Blue Lives Matter spends in advertising and lobbying, you don't think that that's actual propaganda? When people will get on TikTok or YouTube and cry because people are criticizing police officers, or you get police officers who will cry or think that someone's poisoned their McDonald's food when that didn't happen. Or they get bent out of shape when someone makes a cake that has anti-police stuff on it. When we just had a whole debate about, do you got to bake the gay wedding cake or not? But then suddenly it's no longer about a private business making their own decision. Then it's about don't offend police officers. Do you think it's possible that all the people who defend cops have fallen for propaganda? Government propaganda. Do you think it's possible that the same government propaganda that gave you reefer madness is also the same kind of government propaganda that has convinced so many Americans that police officers are infallible? Do you think it's possible that the same kind of propaganda that gave you, once again, reefer madness, that was being pushed by DARE programs that are being headed by police departments, do you think that the same police departments use propaganda that convinced so many Americans that we was terrible and evil and evil for you until we pretty much got the internet? Do you think it's possible that the same people could have gave you propaganda that they're perfect, that the thin blue line is always here to protect you, even though that's not the case? That their job is so dangerous, even though we've shown on this channel that cops cops don't have a really, really dangerous job. Do you think it's possible that some people have fallen for propaganda? Do you think it's possible? Let me know. I'm just curious as to what you think. And on that note, I think that is a good thing to sign off on. Guys, I want to let you know that I really, really enjoyed this live stream. I enjoyed doing this content for you guys. I really enjoyed doing this. And I kept it running for a good little minute there. And I want to go over a few stories because, number one, I want to bring you the content that I would want to watch. And this is why I've upped my quality, and I've got a better machine. And you've noticed with my deep dives, it looks better. It sounds better. It feels better. Even the flow to it flows better. I try to upload, shorter videos so that I don't take up too much of your time. You're busy. You got shit to do. You got a job, man. You got kids. So I try to give you bad cop stories in under a minute. That way, at best, I'm taking a minute of your day. And if you want to watch more of them that I put out, that's all gravy. But I want you to know that I'm going to keep putting out this content, and I want to keep giving you content that you guys can actually enjoy. No, I don't have a huge following on YouTube, but if you want to see how I'm doing on TikTok, it kind of show you that some people are you can target someone's YouTube channel with downvotes, with mass dislikes. You could subscribe and unsubscribe with a bunch of bots to affect them in the algorithm, and mass downvotes and all that stuff that affects the algorithm. That's why people do it, because that works on YouTube. It doesn't work so much on TikTok, okay? Because I got a little bit over 6.2 thousand followers, right? So I want you to see my analytics. With 6.2 thousand followers, let's look at it for the past 28 days. That's what I'm looking at for the past 28 days with a channel that small. Same content. Same content. Same content. This is for 60 days. Same content, same videos that I'm uploading, same viewpoints that I'm uploading. For some reason, it's much more receptive on a brand new platform with younger people, and you can't manipulate algorithms. So all the times that people call me a conspiracy, a freaking conspiracy nut, said that I was just making it up, just making excuses. There's the proof. Now what say you? If I'm putting the exact same videos, the exact same minute or less content that I put on YouTube, that I'm putting on here, and I'm getting those results in just 60 days, and mind you, if you look here, you look closely, I didn't long start this channel, if you look. And that's been my growth. I have a growth rate from August to September. From August 1st to September the 29th, I have a growth rate of more than 7.8 million%. But somehow my content is boring. Somehow people don't want to watch my content. Somehow I'm just too mean. Somehow I'm lying or whatever. I put up the exact same content on a different platform that you can't manipulate. Now what say you? Now what say you? No, here's the thing. So I got some comments here from Cosmic Squirrel. One from None of Your Business says CC unit on YouTube goes after pedos while live streaming. I'll check them out for sure. Cosmic Squirrel says absolutely, people crazy back in brutality because they love that boot. Absolutely. Thanks, DA. I appreciate your work. People got to wake up. K. Amari says, do you think that the user base of age have any effect on how well they do on TikTok versus YouTube? I do think so to a certain extent, but not like this. Not 7.8 million%. Not 7.8 million%. Come on now. That shows you that all the times that I was trying to tell people, they're manipulating my channel. They are making bots. They have bot farms. This is basically what me and Kraut discovered during the whole Kraut and T goddamn saga. With freaking Coach Red Pill and Braving Ruin, aka freaking Edgy Sphinx, or and freaking Aiden Powell and Sticks Hexhammer 666. We discovered that these people, that's how they get their freaking upvotes. They manipulate shit with bot farms. That's how they're doing it. And that's how the alt-right was making themselves appear bigger than what they actually were. So they figured out that you can not only use this bot farm to make yourself appear bigger than what you actually are, and then by extension, right, manipulating people into subscribing and following you, thinking that you are more popular than what you actually are. Okay? But then you could also turn that around. You can then use the bot farms to mass downvote, subscribe and unsubscribe to somebody's channel the same way that you use them to subscribe and unsubscribe to basically boost yourself. You do the exact same thing but in reverse to somebody else. You're seeing the evidence now. How the fuck do you explain me going to another content, right? How else do you explain to me taking the same content and then just from August 1st to September the 29th having a 7.8 million % follower increase in growth? Then that's not even the craziest part. Well, that actually is probably the craziest part. But look at this: video views. A channel with only 6.2 thousand followers has 271,000 video views in 60 fucking days. By any metric, that is success. Right? By any goddamn metric. So why is it that I could pull this off on damn TikTok? And why is it that any time that I mention TikTok, someone goes and starts flagging videos? Just like they did during the alt-right scandal with Kraut. Don't you find that very peculiar? How I can grow like this on another goddamn platform with not just growth, but incredible growth. Don't you find that weird? I do. So now you're seeing why I've been saying what I've been saying. Because it's the truth. Some of you in the live stream right now saw what my channel went down about, I would say 3 months ago. Channel went down. Do you remember that? What happened then? That was the 4th time in 6 months that someone had done that. But remember, no one's trying to manipulate my channel. They just trying to get it taken. They just try to get it taken down. Right. But I can go on a whole different platform and grow at a 7.8 million % increase. That makes sense. Once again, guys, if you pay attention and you don't buy bullshit, people will tell themselves every goddamn time. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for the podcast today. Thank you for joining me, guys. Let's go read some more comments. None of your business says, much respect, ACAB. Thanks. Keep it up. KMR says 2016 alt-right had a shitload of influence on YouTube. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for me, guys. Be safe. Wear a mask. Oh, Cosmic Squirrel says YouTube is censored so hard. Absolutely, they are. But until next time, guys, horns up. Peace out. Good night. And good luck.
Yeah.